The cartoon crossover is a staple. Take two powerhouse toons, throw them in an adventure together, and see what happens. I'm Chris Carr. Here are my top 5 cartoon crossovers. Number 5. The Rugrats and the Wild Thornberrys. In Rugrats Go Wild, 2 Nickelodeon powerhouses came together, the Rugrats and the Wild Thornberrys. When the Rugrats vacation goes awry, the cast ends up on an island where they encounter all kinds of wild creatures, and of course, the wacky Wild Thornberrys. Sure, this crossover has its flaws. How is there a leopard on a deserted island? And the plot was pretty boring and pointless. But it was pretty fun watching Eliza and Spike interact. But maybe I'm just a sucker for Bruce Willis and bizarre voiceover roles. Number 4. Bob's Burgers and Archer. This crossover episode was inspired. Suffering from amnesia, Sterling is living his life as Bob Belcher, husband to Linda, and stepfather to the Belcher kiddos. In typical Archer fashion, Russian spies eventually discover him, and when his murderous moves are awakened, he ditches the family for their own safety and his own enjoyment. What might be better, however, is animator Simon Chong's response, placing the Archer cast into Bob's Burgers style animation and coming in for burgers. Chong animated all of this and painstakingly plucked sound clips from both shows to create this masterpiece. If you haven't seen that, you definitely want to check it out. And trust me, it's good. The creators of Bob's Burgers loved it so much, they offered Simon a job the day after the video's release. Number 3. Steven Universe and Uncle Grandpa. In the second season of Steven Universe, we get the gem that is the episode Say Uncle, in which we get an awesome guest appearance from Uncle Grandpa. In the episode, Steven's long-lost relative Uncle Grandpa comes to town and helps him unlock the power of his gem. In the episode, the gems are weary of Uncle Grandpa. Battles ensue, plot holes are used to escape. No, literally, Uncle Grandpa pulls out what he calls a plot hole from a belly bag. In the end, Steven teaches them, and us, that just because someone is a total weirdo doesn't mean we shouldn't trust them. Number 2. TMNT meets classic Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So while it isn't necessarily a true crossover, I loved the idea of the TMNT Turtles meeting their classic cartoon counterparts. The OG toon was a staple in my Saturday morning lineup. So Transdimensional Turtles immediately became one of my favorite TMNT episodes. Bringing back the original voice actors too? Did y'all read my diary when writing this stuff? Apparently so, because David Tennant plays the Fugitoid. First this, and now Scrooge McDuck. Guys, I really don't want therapy for being attracted to cartoons anymore. Number 1. Jetsons meet the Flintstones. We gotta end with the classic. This is the ultimate crossover. In this animated TV movie, our boy Elroy builds a time machine that transports he and his family back in time where they meet the Stone Age family, the Flintstones. Then the Flintstones end up getting transported to the future where there's shenanigans with Space Lee. There isn't a person I know that loves cartoons and hasn't seen this piece of animation glory. And when you throw in the theory that the Jetsons and the Flintstones live in the same time period, but just as different classes in society, it's a bit less impressive that Elroy built a teleporter instead of a time machine. Pull it together, kid! There are so many other cartoon crossovers out there, and I'd love to hear about your favorites in the comments below. Be sure to like and subscribe. I'm Chris Carr. See you, Space Cowboy.